Fight just wants to vibe. Yeah, I want to vibe. I want to have a be a dog mom. Best aura moments? Bro, is that bird? Then it's ground. Bro.
Aura. You've heard the word, even if it was after the Brain Rot Brigade ruined it for everyone. The definition of aura is not important, it's the feeling. It's commanding an entire room without speaking. It's when your name is spoken, it demands respect. Man, look, we don't even need this intro. You know what aura is. Captain
Yeah, we
America
do.
wielding the hammer of Thor, aura.
This was my favorite.
You know what aura is. Captain America wielding the hammer.
This was my favorite moment in the Avengers ever, especially when it was precedented by the fact that like when they were all taking turns lifting up the hammer, like Captain America was able to lift it a little bit and Thor was like, oh shit, like y'all remember that? And then Captain America was like, you know, it's okay, it's fine, like he's like, ah, never mind. And I was like, no, keep doing it. And then this moment happened. I was in the movie theater like, yo, oh my god, I loved this. Yeah, it budged. Yeah. This is why Captain America is my favorite Avenger. I love him. He's my favorite out of the Avengers.
Of Thor, aura. Steph Curry having an entire building watching him shoot. Except for Steph Curry, aura. Experts advising tourists against even saying this bear's name for their safety, aura. Who's gonna have it too? And when
That's
we talk about
big
aura,
bear.
This
You
bear
are
might
stuck
just be
with
the
me
mascot.
now.
This is bear number 1, 2.
Rodnock, thank you for the 5 months. I'm gonna mute alerts for now, but thank you so much. I'm gonna still be able to see them. Hey Spite, how are you today? What's today's game plan? Hi Rodnock, we're watching a Casual Geographic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a big ass bear. Thank you for the 5 months, darling. That's huge. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
But he's mainly known as the Boss. He's a 700-pound walking boulder of a bear and the most dominant grizzly in Banff National Park in Alberta. He's your biggest predator's biggest predator, as the Boss has been recorded catching, murking, and eating other bears. In fact, one of the first times he ever was seen was while feeding on a recently expired black bear. Or at least what was left of him, and officials had to close down the Sundance Canyon Trail until he was done. He's like the carnivore conductor. Everyone has to follow his timing. He's always the last bear to hibernate, but the first one up. He has a home range of about 1,000 square miles, and like Genghis Grizzly, Boss is believed to have fathered 70% of all the bears in Banff. Brother Bear was going to work, but unfortunately, with every job, eventually you retire, and one day Boss tragically hit a train and was put down. The train, that is. Yeah, this walking plot armor survived being struck by a train twice. Mind you, trains are the #1 killer of all wildlife in Banff, and Boss—
He got hit by a train, so he hit the train. I wonder how the train is doing. Twice. I mean, that's like the biggest bear I think I've ever seen in my life. So that's absolutely nuts. Just a flesh wound? A 2-time survivor. The train bumped into him and immediately apologized. Yeah, the train is screwed.
Boss regularly uses the tracks as a buffet line to feed on spilled grain, as well as the carcasses of other animals that weren't strong enough to survive what he walked off twice. The definition of aura is a bear covered in oil from hours spent eating off the same tracks that should have killed him. But this god of war grizzly doesn't just not fear death, he straight up disrespects it. According to Parks Canada mapping, Boss regularly crosses high-speed, heavy-traffic highways like Trans-Canada, and yeah, in case you were curious, that's another leading cause of bears getting disqualified from life. And that's not the only way he disregards death. Believe it or not, if there was something less than nothing, bears would want that to do with us. The best way to avoid a bear is to make enough noise to give the bear a chance to avoid you, and mother bears will actually den closer to people, knowing that'll keep baby aborting males away. Which means, ironically, some bears choose the man. Boss chooses himself. Bear 122 is a common visitor of compost around Banff, and even—
Bears don't really like... I think bears are a lot more chill than we think they are, unless they're like polar bears. Like I've seen I don't know, like I've seen way too many videos of like black bears especially just being like, all right, okay. I've seen them come up to humans like chilling and eating while eating food, and they'll like dig through their trash can or like grab their food and then like just walk away. Like bears, black bears especially, just like they don't give any F's, you know? Polar bears are insane. If you see a polar bear, you're dead.
Forced the town to put up a 9,500-volt electric fence just to keep him from raiding the landfills. There was also that time you had Boss breaking into backyards just to eat from fruit trees. So of course the only option was to cut down the trees. The thing is, Boss was never known to be aggressive to people. To be fair, that's also true for most bears that are alive. But my theory is, he knows damn well we can't do a thing about him. Boss is a whole anime protagonist with predatory hardware, so you shouldn't be surprised that he has his own villain. One day, wildlife photographer John E. Marriott seemingly saw Boss at his worst. He could barely move, he had chunks taken out of his face, and for the first time, he had gotten got. And the most likely culprit, yeah, that would be this guy, Split Lip. Split Lip, or Bear 136, was another mountain of a bear in Banff, and Boss's #1 op. They even have the same ursicidal tendencies. In 2015, his tracking collar stopped working, and researchers looking for it were met with Split Lip's discarded collar and a mostly eaten grizzly corpse that wasn't Split Lip. They've been running fades for years, and with both being at least over 20, this beef's likely been marinating over a decade. And with Boss estimated at 28, he proves one thing.
There's a whole ass bear beef? They're like gangster bears. This is so nuts to me. A bear war. Oh my god, that's so crazy. The only thing that could stop a bear is another bear. I mean, yeah. There's a whole monkey war too. The lore, the battle of the beast. Like, my goodness. Dang, the bears are having a civil war. That's nuts. I didn't know that, like, okay, well, I knew that, like, you know, lions had moments like this, but I didn't know that bears had issues with each other. I always thought bears were just like the main issue were like humans. I didn't know that it was like this like inter-civil war type thing. That's nuts.
We're the old man in a profession where men die young. In fact, even his name is dangerous. Just not in the way you think. You see, when you name an animal, you're basically personalizing them. It's one thing to do it to a dog. It's a different game for a 700-pound wild Rottweiler. It turns animals into celebrities, and if you think someone's not logic deficient enough to risk it all for a Boss selfie, yeah, bison is more than a goodbye. It's enough for experts to caution against saying his name out of fear that he might literally gain too much clout for his own good. Think about it. This bear's aura is too strong to have a name. But there's more than one kind of aura, even in the animal world. You ever get that new kid in class that everyone just rocks with? Like the popular kids, the teachers, he can make nice with half the school by lunch. That's that charismatic aura, and this is the picture of it. The story goes, a couple lost their dog while hiking in Kamchatka. Remind me to tell you why that's important later, and they fired up a drone to try and find him. Oh, they did, they found him, traveling with 3 bears. There's a lot to unpack here. Number 1, bears don't live in packs, thank the natural order for that, but that means this husky had the stones to pull up on a mother bear with cubs and didn't get sent to dog backwards. Not to mention, there are wolves in Kamchatka, meaning bears already have a predilection.
That's so cute. He just became one of them.
But speaking of Kamchatka, not only does it flex the highest density of brown bears on Earth, the constant fresh supply of salmon means they're one of the few animals alive that could maul a grizzly. So I'm not exaggerating, this dog chose the biggest land predators on the planet and adopted them. Yeah, he adopted them. You can tell they're just barely tolerating him. Whole time the husky's having the time of his life. Does this look familiar? I'll give you a hint.
I'm making waffles.
And I just know it was the mom's tough time of his life.
The bear just the bear was like, yo, chill out. Like tapped him for a second. Either this is my thought process of what just happened. Either the bear was like, you know, dapping him up. If you guys don't know what dapping them up means, it's like whenever like it's like they have the handshake. It's like a handshake, okay? That's what it is. He's either dapping him up, or he's like patting him on the back, like, "Hey, homie," or he's like, just, you know, back up a little bit, like, you know, yeah. Or he's like, you know, yeah. This is like the, it's like, you know, you're here. You're not one of us, but you're here. Like it's.
Does this look familiar? I'll give you a hint.
I'm making waffles.
And I just know it was the mom telling the cubs ignore him and he'll go away that got him here. That's the real reason she doesn't suplex his world. Because then she'd be admitting she was wrong. There's no report the couple got their dog back, but I don't think that's not their dog no more. Especially since if I had a nickel for every time a drone caught a dog breaking bear boundaries,
bro,
I'd have at least 2 more nickels than I woke up with. Oh,
he's even wrestling the bear. Like the bear does not care. He's even wrestling the cubs and the bear does not care. That's amazing.
It's more than just dogs.
Rolling Panda, hi, welcome.
In 2018,
play fighting, yeah. Like wrestling play fighting is what I mean, right? Like, you know, And the bear doesn't care. That's amazing.
Farmer lost one of his cows, and for 2 months straight, she was unaccounted for. That is, until she was caught posted up with a herd of wild, untamed bison. I could make the joke here, but I don't want to give guidelines a chance, so hopefully the comments do it for me. In 2016, another drone captured a pod of beluga whales that had adopted a single lone narwhal. Just for reference, narwhals are painfully shy, people-fearing, eternally introverted anxiety whales that could genuinely get past tense by a panic attack. But as of 2022, he's been running with the same beluga squad every year. This is Aura. Also, fun fact, Narluga hybrids are an actual thing, so maybe this is the same vibe. Probably helps that despite resembling a sun-starved dolphin, belugas have the intimidation of a cinnamon roll. Next animal looks like a cinnamon roll, but could absolutely—
I would actually cry if I saw this in the water, though. If I saw, first off, I don't want to be in the water, period. I used to love being in the ocean, like, you know, and I would go a little bit far out, but now I have a fear of, like, everything in there. So, mainly first off, like, you know, riptides, like the biggest thing I'm scared of. The biggest thing I'm scared of in the ocean is a riptide because I cannot swim super well. I can swim, but not super well. So like, I'm terrified. But yeah, like if I saw this, the thing is that like, you know, it looks really cute here. This is where it looks cute.
Have the intimidation of a—
But whenever you're in the water, everything looks like really distorted. You know, when you're in there with it, especially like in the actual water tends, you know, the water tends to be a lot darker to you, you know? So
it's like a cinnamon roll, but could absolutely fold you.
The 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie.
Ways to die.
You know, when I saw this video, my first thought, that golden retriever's there strictly for vibes. Come to realize, that's not a golden retriever, it's a furry Grim Reaper. It's a Great Pyrenees, a canine insurance policy built to run fades with wolves and bears. It's old man country strength in a canine's body.
Wow.
You meet someone's Pyrenees for the first time and they're all over you, yeah, that's not affection. It's basically a vibe check and fail at your own expense, because the moment you do something they don't like to them, or God forbid someone they care about, this is Casper. He's not a ghost, but damn it if he doesn't make it. He's a 21-month-old, 85-pound cotton-tip goofball.
Wow, it's a dog with homophobia.
At least according to owner John Werville. He lets chickens sleep on his head. He treats the sheep like family.
I always make that joke. I always make that joke. Because he has the eyes. Your soul is mine. Thugnificent, thank you for the follow. Because it's heterochromia. Your soul is mine. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Oh.
He's pretty outgoing for a guard dog.
So funny. Your soul is mine.
On November 3rd, 2022, 11 coyotes raided the farm in Georgia, and 3 managed to break into a pen. If that wasn't motivation enough, Casper also had a mate, Daisy, who was pregnant with 8 puppies. Casper knew what time it was. Casper cleared the 4-foot hog wire fence and not so gently perp walked the first 3 off the census in seconds. Casper then jumped the fence again, and this time went after the entire pack, and even with 5 other Pyrenees on the farm, Casper went at it alone. No backup. This was personal. Casper would disappear for 2 days, until reappearing with cuts, torn skin, and a severely injured tail that ended up getting amputated. I showed the other guys, but corpses aren't allowed on YouTube. The next day, people found the bodies of the decommissioned coyotes littered around railroad tracks, the carnage totaling 8 dead coyotes.
Damn!
You remember how many unborn pups they pressed? I don't believe 8 was an accident. Casper would spend 2 weeks at the emergency vet and another 6 at the animal clinic to treat his wounds of war. But thanks to Samaritans donating $15,000 to his medical bills,
not the cone! Poor baby! Not the cone! Yeah, he is him. He is him. That's him. That's the way to say it. Corbin, thank you for the follow.
Make a full recovery. And in 2024, he was voted the People's Choice Pup and won Farm Dog of the Year. Today, Casper's retired, and after single-handedly saving his entire bloodline, as he should. Next animal also retired, but only after saving his entire species. Except this is the one time the aura came from stolen valor. Aura fraud is a crime, and his prehistoric plus-size Pebble committed it. Giant tortoises actually used to be seasoned all over, but that changed the moment folks discovered how good turtle meat tastes.
I mean, listen, we all know, hold on. Okay, hold on. I think Princess Peach allows herself to get captured. This is my thoughts. And you know, you either go with it. No, hear me outs. No, I do think so because we have seen her booty bounce in Smash Bros. She can fend for herself. All right. Peach has Stockholm Syndrome. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. I think she has Stockholm Syndrome because there's no way in hell you're getting kidnapped that many times from Bowser. Like, there's, like, please. Why is my chat box, like, gone again? He hasn't. Yeah, no, no, I don't even think that Bowser is a hear me out. I think he's just hot. You know, I just look at the smirk on his face. Listen, he mentioned it. He mentioned the turtle meat.
It was actually ridiculous. You know, they didn't get a scientific name for hundreds of years, all because the sailors traveling with them kept eating them before they made it back to London. It got to the point where the population of giant tortoises on Hispaniola Island was 3 males and 12 females away from getting discontinued permanently. They started a breeding program, but off the bat, only 2 males were able to contribute.
You're stuck with me now.
Until they realized that a tortoise living in the San Diego Zoo.
Oh my god, Rosie, can I get a shout out for Rosie? Rosie, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Hello, Rosie.
Had actually been born on Hispaniola, and DNA tests confirmed that Diego was exactly what they were looking for.
I need to go back here, hold on.
Until they realized that they started a breeding program, but off the bat, only 2 males were able to contribute. That was until they realized that a tortoise living in the San Diego Zoo had actually been born on Hispaniola, and DNA tests confirmed that Diego was exactly what they were looking for, and so recruited him. Diego peeped the census and immediately came to his senses. He locked in. They said, "Go Diego, go." Boy, did he ever. 3 male Hood Island tortoises were brought into the breeding program, and Sir Diego proceeded to score a career high in spreading thighs. Do turtles even have? Yes. With more rounds than Nick's cannon, the amorous anvil with legs spawned 900 children and fathered 40% of all the tortoises born in the program.
900? Wait, what did I just pause on? No, wait! No! Help! Oh my god! They were wrestling, chat. They were wrestling. They were wrestling. They're hugging. They're hugging. They're 2 wholesome turtles. Tortoises. Whatever. Okay? What the They're hugging. This is the stream of all time. They're God. Oh my lord. Okay. Honestly, I see that every time I go to the zoo. I'm gonna be honest. No, Rosie, like every time I go to the zoo, I see that. They don't stop. They are always going. Oh my god, Beepers! Can I get a shout out for Beepers? We have so many cute friends in chat today. I'm so happy. Hi guys. What's going on? Rosie, I've seen, like, every time I go to the zoo, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to stay away from the tortoises because I know what they're doing already. I know they're hugging. I know it. Beepers and Rosie are amazing. They're both cutie pies. I love them.
Anvil with legs spawned 900 children and fathered 40% of all the tortoises born in the program.
They're hugging.
Forever immortalizing him as a turtle who laid so much pipe he carried the species. And I do mean carry. There were 3 males, but one of them literally couldn't bump shells if their species depended on it.
Bro, this is like the Genghis Khan of tortoises, right? Like, didn't Genghis Khan, like, aren't there like a bunch of people who are descendants of Genghis Khan? Wasn't he that dude that like got with everybody?
Either that, or he was one of those watching turtles. Now, I'm not a mathemacologist, but 3 males with one pulling 40% and the other contributing vibes means Diego wasn't the MVP. That turtle was E5, and logic says his loins were responsible for 60% of the output. But apparently Diego being a bigger, louder personality means he siphoned E5's clout, although to be fair, being named after a fucking bingo space didn't help. E5 was quiet, reserved, and rarely witnessed in the act. Meanwhile, Diego was the type to crash keratin and let the whole island hear about it. This was a Turtle 2 man that went on a legendary run to save their species, which now numbers 2,300 on Española. Both tortoises have retired and have since been returned to their native island almost 80 years after they were first recruited. Moral of the story, there's a lot in a name. Call a bear a boss and he'll act like one. Name a shell jockey after the spawn of Elon, you're setting both up for
Oh
failure.
my god.
And failure's not even a concept to
Oh,
the
he
next
fell
animal, 'cause when
over.
you talk about aura, this guy might have won himself a life supply. This is Jacob the Ion.
Jacob. Did he say the lion? Why did he say lion like that? The lion? Hi, Dragon Child.
Cuz he just refuses to take the L. And earlier this year, he and his brother broke a record in the most unexpected way possible. But to really appreciate how insane this is, you need to know just how they got here. Jacob belongs to a super rare population of tree-climbing lions in Queen Elizabeth
He's
National
beautiful.
Park. What was really rare was his plot armor. In 2019, 5-year-old Jacob stepped on a wheel trap, a brutal torture device meant to bring down buffalo and hippos.
No.
That'd be curtains for most lions, but Jacob managed to escape, although not without sacrificing a leg. And although he was kept alive by pridemates bringing him food and rangers eventually treating his wound with antibiotics, the chances a three-legged lion can last more than a year are low, and they were about to get a lot worse. In March 2020, 6 of Jacob's family members were poisoned by poachers and body parts sold on the black market. Being a tripod predator is already life on impossible mode. Doing that without a pride behind you is a for sure death sentence. Death seemed even more certain because 6 weeks after that, Jacob was gored by a buffalo, gifting him a gruesome puncture hole in his chest. Somehow Jacob survived everything, but the jihad of life didn't end there. Even with brother Tibu by his side, there's one big risk with being a lion without a pride, and one night, it happened. Jacob and Tibu lost a fight with a rival group of males, and as lion culture states, all losers must be banished from the territory. Problem was, the only way out involved crossing the Kazinga Channel.
Oh my goodness.
Channel believed to hold the world's largest population of hippos
Oh,
and crocodiles.
shit.
Both a massive threat to an Afro Kitty's way of life. Jacob had already beat the odds like a Cherokee drum, but this time had to be too much. They did it. Jacob and Tibu swam nearly a mile across croc and hippo seasoned waters at night. It was
Without getting attacked by Moto? Without? Oh my god, he swam without a leg too. Bro, oh my god, he's a boss. This is aura. Yeah, you don't want to mess with them? Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't want to mess with the hippo. Hippos are. Cats hate water, they do. Hey, Spy, I dig the new outfit. Makes you look more smexy. Thank you, baby. This is just a recolor. This is a recolor of my outfit that I've had for a minute. Um, I'm not gonna mess with the hippo. I would never mess with the hippo
longest
either.
distance a lion has ever been recorded swimming, and in Kazinga, most don't make it past 100 meters. The brothers lasted a length of 14 football fields, and the craziest part, it didn't take one try. It took 3 attempts, and one of them ended with a mysterious creature stalking them and forcing the pair back to shore. Do you know the nerve it takes to swim through a steroid lizard luncheon and a hippo pool party in the dark for 45 minutes straight while having no way of knowing if something's following you? What even motivates 2 lions to risk their entire lives swimming through a literal, yeah, that'd do it. You see, lions often motivate 2 lions to risk their entire lives swimming through a literal, yeah, that.
Bro, oh my god. Oh my god, look at his face. What the frick? He is so like
That'd do it. You see, lions often mark their territory with roaring, and after losing that crucial fight, the pair heard the sounds of lionesses and the promise of promiscuity on the other side of hell. So yeah, lioness? Nah, them boys did it for the lion yash. Let's pray this lion gets laid, cause that DNA going to waste would be the real tragedy. Second time this video, animals went on a 2-man to save the lineage, but the next animal's a ratio of destruction hell-bent on destroying everyone else.
I didn't realize.
If you know anything about honey badgers, you know this Oreo otter puts the aura in horrifying. The same dust weasel that sleeps off snake venom and goes 3v1 on hyenas and still solos. And there wasn't a honey menace with more aura
honey badger
than Stoffel. Let me tell you something about Stoffel. Stoffel is disrespect in the form of a black Air Force bowl cut weasel. He's the mascot.
Not him dancing like that.
Habitual line stepping, and like IBS, you can't stop him, you can only pray to contain him. He was actually found by caretaker Brian Jones, credits to the weasel distribution system, but Stoffel is like a 4-legged tornado in his home, nuking the place and daring him to do something about it. Eventually, he brought Stoffel to the Mahala Animal Rehabilitation Center, and if you think being around other animals calm this Tasmanian devil, you don't know Stoffel. There wasn't a single animal this furry thumbtack wouldn't beef with, from messing with a rhino 100 times his size, to running a fade with a serval next door, to even folding an adult tawny eagle. No foul. He'd also harass kitchen staff and help himself to the fridge. Who was gonna stop him? And it turned out Stoffel wasn't fit to be released to the wild, so this felon ferret was here to stay. At one point, he dug through an electric fence and started bullying the lions, specifically chasing the male around and trying to bite his lion bits. The lion actually grabbed
That's
Stoffel,
messed
but
up.
fun fact, honey badgers are built like a comeback, and loose skin around the neck meant he could turn around and bite the lion right back. He must have been feeling himself, because Stoffel ended up going back to the lions a second time and nearly got mauled to death, spending over 2 months in the animal hospital. And the first thing this monochrome crash out did, fresh out, was try to get it back in blood. And at this point, Brian knew he had to lock up his
He went for
to a
revenge.
weasel for his own good. And
Hi,
that's when
Takashi.
things really got disrespectful. In his new enclosure, Stoffel climbed a tree by a wall and got out. Should have seen that coming, but then they removed all the trees by the wall. The convict spent all night bending and twisting a branch until it broke, carried it to a wall, leaned it against, and escaped again, so now all the trees were out. Low diff for the Stoff. This time he dug up all the rocks in the enclosure, stacked them high enough, and emancipated himself again. So there went the rocks, but like a fool they left him with mud. A few mud piles later, and Harry Houdini humbled them again. One time someone made the mistake of leaving a rake in there. Guess what he did. At one point, they thought they were bringing in a love interest named Hammy, but all they really did was literally gift him a partner in crime. Like Shadow Clone Jutsu, now there was 2 of them. Stoffel broke into his caretaker's
Why did
home
they?
via
Why are us humans just so dumb sometimes? We're so smart. We're so smart, but like, we're also just so dumb at the same exact time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're so smart, but we're so dumb. Actually, not all cats hate water. Some love water, but Turkish vans actually enjoy swimming. I have never heard of a Turkish van before. A Turkish van? If you said to me, hey, a Turkish van, I would have thought like of a literal van. You know? That's the moment they knew. They effed up.
to the window and even tried the door. No one got hurt, but sometimes it's about sending a message. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show Nick. He made it clear that every second he was behind a wall was a choice, cause there's a twist. It was all a game. The Weasel Menace had been hand-raised by humans his entire life and had imprinted on them. He wasn't going anywhere. Fun fact, honey badgers are like the mama's boys of mustelids, with pups staying with their mothers for up to 2 years. As far as Stoffel was concerned, Brian was mama. So yeah, Casper was fueled by family, and Jacob's motivation was hooning some tatas. This dusty sand weasel was memeing the entire time, and I checked, he's still alive. He's currently 27 and has lost most of his teeth, but he still has Hammy to chew his meals for him. Stoffel even has a son named Stompy, guaranteeing that the family business is alive at least another generation. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother. If you ever wanted to meet Stoffel, you should probably get on that. And I'm gonna see y'all.
Stoffel is so freaking cute. He is so cute. I do want to meet him. Hold on, guys. We need to have a moment. We need to have a moment.